going to hear the behind the scenes for a second as we get our broadcasting working.
It's a little technology issues here, mostly on my end.
We're all live, and we're going to go live in like 54 seconds. Unless, Lori, you're ready right now. Do you want to go right
I'm
now?
ready. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I'm being transparent. I'm just telling y'all. I had some technical issues.
So here we go. We are live. Hey.
Oh, fantastic. Yay. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for joining us for the second day of Words That Attract Cash. You're here with me, Lori Morgan Ferrero, and my co-host, Yafat Cohen. And we're actually going to tell you about story selling. But before we get into that, I just want to kind of recap a little bit about what we talked about yesterday, if that's cool, Yafat?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. So yesterday, we just sort of talked about what's a valuable lifetime customer for you. And things have changed a lot. Excuse me. Things have changed a lot in technology. Things have changed a lot in just the way the world is working. And we are more isolated now than we've ever been. And yet we're more connected than we've ever been, which is really kind of ironic. But truthfully, we can have conversations with friends in Israel, right?
Yeah.
Right? In Australia, in Thailand, in China, in India, wherever, the Philippines, in the United States, the UK, Canada. It's just amazing. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, we are usually in our offices by ourselves. Yeah. And so it's very important to make a connection with prospects, with customers, potential customers. And that's what basically this 10-day thing is about. It's about bringing a new level of marketing to marketing, because we've never been in this situation in history ever, right?
Right.
So
and here we are. Yeah. Okay. So everybody, you're right, and this is so exciting because we get to talk to you guys face to face. You get to actually come in here and jump into our hangout with Lori and ask her any question that you want, like Teresa did yesterday. So hey, Teresa, yay! And because she did that yesterday, she won those doodles that you see right here in the comments. That hi, Gabby from Israeli saying hi. She sees and I'm going to share it with you so you guys can see them. And you guys can win them. So you see these little cute little doodles that are showing up here.
Let me just tell you, they're silly, kind of. I mean, they're very simple. They're hand-drawn, but what it does is it adds a human element to your copy, to your messaging. And people crave that. They really like to feel like, like you would write on a card, a birthday card, or you know what I mean? A holiday card. It's the same kind of person, a connection. It's personal connection. So it's really good.
Yeah. And so you guys get that in, and if you're on Facebook and you don't see what I'm seeing, jump on, you see the URL right there, Words That Attract Cash. Jump on there so you can see exactly what we're talking about, and you can be one of our winners for today. So today, when you join us in the hangout, like we did yesterday, you will be getting not just these red doodles, but you're going to get them in black and in blue and in purple.
Yes.
So before we start, let me just remind you that, first of all, Elizabeth Hamilton just ranked up on the top. Like yesterday, she just jumped up to the whole thing. Yeah. And Teresa, you're right there, up there with her. So super, super exciting. So make sure that you download this worksheet, because there's going to be tons of really awesome information that we're going to give you today.
Today is a
maybe
good one.
What we do, Lori, is when we open up the hangout, we actually listen to some people's stories and we see how they align with what you're teaching us today. What do you think?
Absolutely. I love that, because that's the thing. Everybody has a story. Everybody has, they have many, but particularly what I want to look at is how to use those stories in marketing. And what I mean by that is like, how did you, before you were something else, right? In fact, you thought,
Yeah.
I don't even know your story.
My story.
Before you were the most amazing internet geek, what did you do?
What was my story?
I yeah,
So
yeah, let's do it. Oh, I put you on
okay,
the
so
spot.
I sucked at social media. Maybe a lot of people feel the same way right now when you're posting on Facebook, and it's just like cricket, cricket. Maybe someone's looking at it or something, and I was sharing, like, everybody's like, come on, be personal. I shared my pregnancy, and nobody commented or anything, and I felt like the biggest loser. Um, and then, isn't
Yeah,
it
no, I
crazy,
get
right?
it. I get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I luckily Google Plus came out in beta about 5 years ago, and they sent me an invitation to come in, and I joined, and all of a sudden it was me and my fellow geeks, because the same thing that happens when you search for anything in Google, right? It spits out articles about the topic you're interested in. Google Plus spits out people. And all of a sudden, we're testing the platform and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And we're all geeks. So we all geeking out till the comes come. Oh, what happened with this? What happened with that? And
Right.
then Google came out with Hangouts. And I was embarrassed to be on camera, if you can believe that. I was a black man.
I cannot believe that because you're so natural. That's funny.
Well, it took me 5 years to get to where I am right now. So if you guys are a little shy, we're all been there. It's just a matter of practice, but it's crucial because
It's
Facebook is
connection.
coming out to be only video in 2012, in 2020, right? It's going to be totally video, so it's crucial. But what
I
happens
did
because
not know this. I did not know
you didn't know
that.
that?
No, I didn't. But see, that's why you're my geek friend. And that makes a lot of sense because that's how you make connection. And truthfully, it's like being, talking with you, talking with Teresa, like we did yesterday, talking with Elizabeth if she shows up. It really does make a huge difference because, as I said, we're isolated.
Yeah,
As much as we're connected, we're also isolated.
very much so. And it's really fascinating because what happens is we all have passions, right? Like, I'm a total geek, and I really am geeking out about website and conversions, and like talking to people about, like, hey, what if we play this way? My family doesn't care. My local friends here don't care. There's nothing really I can talk to them about except for the small talk. And I'm sure there's so many things that you guys are geeking out about, like someone's geeking out about writing, like fiction or nonfiction. Someone cares about crochet. Someone really cares about horses and poker and stuff. So the challenge is, like, most of these people are not around you, and who can you talk to? Like, how do you relate, about things that really fire you up? Well, you can find them online. So right now with Lori, how do you really know what stories, like whether your story moves people? You need someone's brain on it, someone who's as passionate as you are. And now when you get to talk to Lori face to face, you get someone who, like, this is not boring to her. It fuels her up. So when you meet these people, sparks happen, and engagement happen, and connection happen, and all you need is, like, really 10 people that get you, and you feel like you belong somewhere. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are, as human beings, we are tribal people.
yeah,
We can't, like they say, no man is an island. It's
right.
true. No woman is
Yeah,
an island either. We have to, it's crucial to our fuel. Like you were mentioning, we have to connect. We have to talk about our passions, and you don't get to do that uh, as much, even though we have the technology. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is
yep.
how you can bring that to your messaging, how you can bring stories and connection to your messaging. And like I said, this is one of my favorite topics. So I'm sorry if I'm geeking out a little bit, but storytelling is a huge thing for me because I was a, a wannabe actress.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you my story, but it's I mean, all right, I'll just do it. I'll just tell you my
Go for it.
story real quick. I've already started. So basically, I when I was a little girl, I used to watch I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched and all those shows. And when I found out, oh my gosh, these are women who get paid to do this, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's what I want to do. I want to grow up and I want to be a movie star, not just an actress, mind you. I wanted to be a movie star. But my mother was not for it, and I wouldn't be it for my children either, to be perfectly honest. It's a tough road. But at any rate, I wanted to do it so badly. And I went to college at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and I told my parents I was going to study acting. And they're like, no, you're not. You have to study something with like that you can actually make a living at. And so I'm like, okay, I'll study journalism. And so I did. And I have a BA in journalism. And I graduated, and you thought the year after I graduated, I drove out to freaking Los Angeles to become an actress, even though I had this a degree in journalism. I had never planned to use it. It was just, but funny enough,
That helps us today, so that's awesome.
it's I am using it, right? Yeah, it does. It's exactly right. So I came out here. I suck as an actress. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a terrible actress. But I ended up getting married, having 2 children, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and it was wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love my boys. I have 2 sons. Now they're men, but yeah. So that became my life, and then I got divorced. And so it was like, oh crap, I have to get a job, right? Because I have to make money. And so I did. I became, rather than becoming an actual journalist, because to be honest, being a journalist was really horrible hours and very low pay. So I became an administrative assistant, and I climbed the ladder to become a what do you call executive assistant to the CEO of a marketing firm, which is kind of funny because they could care less about what I thought about marketing. But at any rate, my 3 things happened in 1999 that changed the trajectory of my life. Okay. So the 3 things were, my boss retired. And so I decided I wasn't going to get another job. I was going to stay home with my children because I missed them and they missed me. The second thing that happened was I married my husband, which is where the Ferrero comes from, John Ferrero. And the third thing that happened was actually, I told these in the wrong order, but the third thing that happened was the Columbine incident. Were you here for that?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. So that was what made me realize I needed to be home with my kids. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the internet makes writing possible from anywhere. Right. Why not jump on it? And so I started Red Hot Coffee that way. So that's my business story in a very long way. But what I'm trying to say is that this is the kind of story that people listening, that you should be able to tell to your audiences, because it makes you relatable and it makes you human, right?
Yeah. So here's the interesting part, guys. What is your story? Like, it took me a while to come up with mine. And I'm sure, Lori, it took you a little while to be like, okay, where is my story leading to, right? Like, what part of my story is the part of like, I've been there, done that, I can show you the way. So when we open it up, why don't you, so how about this? Put your story in the comments, and guys, vote on the one that you like the most. And maybe tomorrow so we can keep it for the replay. Tomorrow we can give one like really super awesome prize to the one with the best story. Now, saying that, don't worry about like whether your story sucks and you don't want to even put it there to not be judged. Don't worry about that one. Just put it in there and just like the ones that you like. And the benefit of that will be like Lori will read that and she can give you feedback on how to improve your story. And
I would be honored.
Like that?
I love it. I love it. And here's just a little template for you. It's before my life was like this. So before, for me, my life was a stay-at-home mom. Something happened, Columbine happened for me, where I realized, oh my goodness, my children need me. I need to be home with them.
Hmm.
And the third thing happened is I developed Red Hot Coffee. So it's before, what was your life-changing event or your business-changing event, and how are things working for you now? That's all I need. That's a template, 3 steps. So just write, I mean, write as much as you like, but those are the 3 steps that you have to do to just to make it easy, because some people get a little overwhelmed by it.
Right.
So
No, I hear it.
yes,
Totally hear that.
yes, yes. So for your story, just it's before I was like this happened, and now I'm like this. That's all. And
That's awesome.
I'm dying to read your stories.
So, so what's cool about these guys is that as you are thinking of your stories right now, we're gonna dive into your worksheet, right? And we talk about like how brands incorporate emotions in their story, right? Because just saying like, "Hey, I was born yesterday. I tried to do this. It sucked, and now I'm an expert," doesn't really connect the audience, does it?
No, right? Exactly. Exactly. So let me pull up my own worksheets too. Uh,
So
oh yeah,
yeah, we're
so
starting it with Coke. Remember, like one of the things that we said last time yesterday was like, "Hey, why do you think Coke is doing better than Pepsi?" And we had some people coming up with Pepsi slogans, which is the best drink in the world. Still not very
the,
memorable.
the generation. No,
Right.
it's not. In fact, it's so funny because I'm actually drinking. It's a Diet Coke. I know
Oh my
they're
god.
horrible for you, but I am actually drinking one right now.
Well, there you go. So Coke is ruling the world.
Yes, exactly. So I actually, this is what I wanted to share, and I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with you all. My printer is hooked up to my Mac, which has 2 USB cords. So I can choose to either be heard and seen or to print.
Let's do her and
Thank
see.
you. So being heard and seen, I'm playing a little blindsided here, but there is something that I really want to share with you today. And this is one of the things that I love about today's topic, storytelling. Um, which is yeah, Coke's advertising worked better than Pepsi's because of their story. How many there's a lot of stories about Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't
and
know.
some are true and some are not true, but there's really, can you think of a story about Pepsi?
Um,
I can't.
I don't even know. So the only thing that comes up to Coca-Cola is, you go to the movies, you see them opening happiness, and then you have the polar bears, and I think they were supporting the polar bears. Was that the thing?
Well, yeah, exactly. And there's also rumors of them using cocaine in the formula,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Okay, yeah.
There's rumors of it being used for toilet bowl cleaner. I mean, I don't even know how much of that is true, but you hear nothing about Pepsi except that I do remember there was a Pepsi challenge when I was in a mall in Kentucky. And I think they like Pepsi is much sweeter than Coke.
Hmm.
So a lot of people who drank Pepsi kind of went with that, but there was no story.
Right.
And I think that that's what killed them. And so what I wanted to talk about today is the something that really made so much sense to me. And actually, you brought it up, Yafat, in a different scenario.
Uh-huh.
But the elephant and the rider. Do you know what I'm
Yes.
talking about?
Yes.
Right?
So I
Okay.
will. I will share my screen. Let's see.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
good.
I'll
Because
share.
I'm sorry, I'm technologically out of
And
it.
here we are in the story
There's
and
my
the
Ellie.
writer. Yeah. So
Oh, look at you
let's
go.
see.
Thank you. I so appreciate that.
Yes. So there we go. So the story, the elephant, the rider. But before we get there, do you want to just answer this one, like which one is Coke and which one is
Yes,
Pepsi?
yes. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I'm
Running by
technologically
today, totally fine.
I'm under.
So if you guys know which one is Coke and which one is Pepsi, just write those down and let us know in the comments. And so go ahead, write those down. Let us know in the comments which one is which. And as you know, then we're gonna look into them and then we're gonna see which one, like whether you're right or not. So let's talk about this one.
Well, no, no, no. Go back. Go.
You
I'm
want to do
so
that?
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go back. And it's my apologies, everybody. I'm so sorry. It's the printer thing. It's technology. Sorry, but you're fine. You've got it covered. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's look at this. So the first one is I can't.
Now it's the well, we talked about that yesterday,
There we
right?
go.
For those who think young, so that's Pepsi, right?
That's Pepsi because they keep going for the youthful crowd. That's their thing, but they don't really grasp the youthful crowd. I don't. But okay, so yes, that is Pepsi.
That is
So
Pepsi. Okay.
next,
So the next one is the Great National Temperate Beverage.
temperance beverage. See, this is how far back Coke goes. Coca-Cola goes. Do you? I know you're not from the United States per
What gave
se,
that
but
away?
I don't know. But I wasn't born during this time either. There was a time when they tried to make alcohol illegal. That didn't work
Oh
very
yeah.
well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're saying, don't drink booze, drink Coca-Cola. And that's what that meant. I mean, but that's how far back that goes. And that's into the 1930s,
Wow.
20s, 30s.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
Yeah. That
it's
was
been
it. So the
around.
Great National Temperance Beverage. So basically, you can get drunk with Coke.
Well, no, you can't, but it's an alternative.
So it's also the real thing, right?
It's the real thing. That was one of their, oh my gosh, they actually printed that on their bottles forever. Yeah, it's the real thing. I don't know what the real thing is, but it's certainly
It's definitely
it,
Coke.
it was Coke. Yes.
And so I'd like to buy the world. Ooh, Coke. I don't know.
Yes. You'd
Yeah.
like to buy the world of Coke. And again, see, this is really cool, you thought, because you haven't been raised with this stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is new to you. And yeah, you'd like to buy the world of Coke. They had a whole song about it, people holding hands, and Pepsi tried it too. As we talked about a little yesterday, and
Right, and failed.
it failed horribly. But that was Coke's thing. It's like I want to buy the world of Coke and make us all happy and huggy and
So does
together.
that come from like I want to buy the world a beer? Like I'll buy you a beer and we'll be friends, kind of thing?
Yeah, it actually, yes, it does. Except that they're saying you don't need the alcoholic effect.
Yeah.
It's just that Coca-Cola is just something that's friendly and sociable and
Awesome.
emotional. Because if you have, like, again, like I said, I'm drinking one now, but it's emotional in that it's a connection, and that's what we're going back to. That's with story, and that's with, of course they have a bit of a history, but nevertheless it's story and connection. And that's what is so important and so different about marketing today, that has not really been brought to the surface.
So we have a few comments from Teresa and Tony, and I'm gonna say that in a second. I'm gonna share you in a moment, guys.
Oh, great.
But so every yikes. So I would say this is Coke again, right? Every Coke refreshes the world. Is that right?
Actually, no, that one's Pepsi.
Ooh.
That's Pepsi. Because you know why?
Why?
They're trailing Coke's formula. They see that they're losing, and they're losing the audience. And if you look at some of their slogans, they're very similar, but nevertheless, they're behind the times. They're behind the times when it comes to Coke, because Coke has the story, Coke has the connection.
Mm. And so the last one, okay, so basically that's modeling a competitor that
It's
works.
modeling a competitor. Exactly right. Exactly. And I'll just give you the last one. The last one is also Pepsi. That is
Pepsi is the join the conversation. That's interesting because I would think that that would be Coke because Coke is because of I'd like to buy you a
the
beer.
connection. Yeah, I understand where that would come from, but again, they are the Pepsi. Sorry, Pepsi. It'd be so funny if I got a job offer from Pepsi.
Right.
But no, Pepsi is trailing Coca-Cola by saying join the conversation, and that's where this Kendall Jenner thing went awry when she said she didn't say anything, and it's not her fault. But in the commercial, if you haven't seen it or you don't realize the epic fail that it was, Pepsi had a commercial with Kendall Jenner, who went up to during a riot it wasn't clear what it was, but we get the idea that it was race oriented, and they went
Yeah.
up to San Francisco policemen, which they didn't have the right to do, like
Mhm.
legally. So that was another thing. But at any rate, she went up to him and was like, "Here, have a Pepsi. Let's get along. Let's like," which was very similar to uh, give the world a Coke. I want to buy the world a
Oh,
Coke.
right. Yeah.
So they're following on the footsteps, but they're not doing it very well.
And you
And
know what? Maybe this is why this is the real thing, right? So Coke is the real thing. We got Pepsi always imitating.
well, that's exactly right. And that's how people are out there who are listening. It's like your story is your story. Your story is your story. My story is my story. And I know, Teresa, Elizabeth, all the people who are, or Paula, people who are sticking around and watching, Linda, Kathy, that they have their own unique story. And it may seem boring to them because it's their story, but
Right.
it's it's really not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not to other people.
So let me just see. So let's see if we can bring our little conversations here to connect here with our Facebook guys. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we'll see. So so let me just say that Billy Thompson is watching us from Facebook. So hi,
Hi,
Billy,
Billy.
and Bonnie Gray says hello from Calgary, Alberta. And Jay
Yay.
McConey is here. And Tony is here. And Tony says that Coca Cola did have a trace amount of cocaine until 1929. So maybe that's where the high
So
comes
it's
from.
not a total. Okay,
And
yeah, I thought that was true. I did.
yeah. So, and Teresa says that Pepsi needs you, Lori. And she didn't know whether temperance beverage, what it was, but she guessed it was Coke. So you guessed right. And Tony says Napoleon Hill tells the Coke story in Think and Grow Rich. So tell us what the story is, because I don't know what it is, Tony. That'd be cool.
Oh, and I've read that book like 3 times and I don't remember that story.
Mm.
Tony, if please, I mean, of course I can
Look
get
it
it out
up.
of
Look
my
it
I
up.
can get it out of my library. I have it here, but nevertheless,
Right.
I want to be conscious of time as well. So I want to move on to the elephant and the rider, if that's okay.
Let's do that. So I will
Okay,
share my screen,
thank you.
guys.
And
And
I'll have some more Coke.
so let's see. So here we go.
And you know what's funny? I just want to tell all of my health friends, I really don't drink this very often, but I just felt I wanted it today. I wanted it, so I'm
You're
having
like,
it.
don't judge me.
Don't judge me. Exactly.
So actually, maybe people you drinking Coke too. Let us know in the comments whether you are.
Right? Or what are you drinking? I
Exactly.
had I
What are
had
you drinking?
some sparkling water with some cranberry juice beforehand.
There you go. So we go healthy and then and then whatever. Okay, so the elephant and the
Exactly.
rider. What do we do with that?
Okay, so first of all, people who know me know that I hate this metaphor, but it's so good. I hate this metaphor because I dearly, with all my heart, I love elephants, and people should not be riding elephants. And the reason they shouldn't be riding them, this is an aside, this is me being political. The reason they shouldn't be riding them is because, like a horse has a back like this, right? It has a flat back. So you can put a saddle on it and you can ride that horse. An elephant has a flat back, and then it has spines that stick up like this. And so if you put a saddle on it, it hurts them. And that's so the photograph that I shared with you, the elephant and the rider,
doesn't have a saddle.
It doesn't have a saddle. He's just a little stick figure, and he's not putting weight. He's not hurting the elephant. However, to get to riding an elephant is a whole nother thing, because they don't. That's not their thing. They don't want you on their back.
The elephant and the rider.
It's not okay. All right. So that's my political statement. But what I really like about this is that the elephant weighs, depending on if it's Asian or African, anywhere from 8,000 to 15,000 pounds. A human being weighs, let's say, anywhere from 100 to 200 pounds. That's riding it, right? Let's just say 200 pounds to 15,000 pounds. So the rider is going to guide the elephant wherever he wants it to go. But guess what? If the elephant doesn't want to go there, it's not going to happen. And so this was a metaphor created by a psychologist named Jonathan Haidt, and the elephant represents emotions. What your emotions feel like is what's going to guide you, and the rider is your logic.
Yeah,
it's your brain. So yeah, you can work it all around. You can be as logical as you like, but at the end of the day, your emotions are controlling your actions. And that's what's important in sales. And that's why storytelling is super important, because that's when you're making a connection with your audience. You're making an emotional connection, and there's nothing stronger. 15,000 pounds over 200 pounds.
Right.
The emotions are going to win every single time. And so if you can think of that as a metaphor when you're writing story, when you're writing copy, when you're messaging your brand, that's what's going to count. It's emotions. It's not logic. It's like, oh yeah, it makes sense that this screwdriver will I don't know, clean my windows and wash my carpets and walk my dog, but you know what? Emotionally, I don't
feel like doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So emotionally, that's what's going to make a difference. And so this, even though, I have the elephant issue at the end of the day, it's a very strong metaphor, because if you think about, emotions are that much stronger than logic. And that's
so
what
how do
makes
we use
people
this, right?
buy.
We have the 3 steps here. So how do we use this metaphor to write your marketing story?
So the first step, this is actually what I was just mentioning when I told my rambling story, which is the first step is, how was your life before? The second step is, what changed? What was that? There's something that happened. And that's what people are going to connect with more than anything. And then the third step is, how is your life now? And so we're looking in, I am not on Facebook, you thought, so I'm not sure what you're seeing. But if you're seeing anybody's sort of before this happened, now this. Most entrepreneurs, most business owners I've ever talked to all have the same stage. Like they were something else, and then something happened, and now this is their life. Like,
Right.
what were you before you were a geek? I'm putting you on the spot.
What was I before I was a geek? I think I was what do you call it? Hidden geek. Like I didn't admit that I was a geek. I was trying to be,
I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense.
right. Well, it takes you time to kind of like discover who you are, and I think that
It
is
does.
probably what your audience and you guys let us know. Is that the thing that you need help with the most? And if that's what you need help with the most, refresh your page right now. And this link I'm going to show you. This link is going to be available to you. So right now you can click here, refresh the page, click here, and that's going to open a Hangout, and you're going to join us in the Hangout. And when you do, you will be getting, oh, there we go. You will be getting our little
Exciting.
doodles, and we want to meet you face to face. And forget the doodles for a second. You will be getting the answer, the story that you can start using in your marketing right now. Lori is going to help you. So if you're watching us on Facebook, if you are watching us on our website or on YouTube, jump in, refresh the page, words that attract cash.
Or
Slash
even,
live.
I also want to say, if people aren't watching now and they want to listen later, by all means, I read all this stuff. I love it. Yeah. So,
and we got a comment from Mena, so we'll read that in a second. But yeah, so refresh the page, join us. Make sure that you are muting yourself when you join in, and we'll get to that. So the story has before. Is that like the hero's journey? Is that what you call it?
it kind of, you know what it is, actually, it's a very compressed form of the hero's journey, because the hero's journey is way too long for marketing. We don't want to hear that. That's like a novel. we want to cut down to brass tacks. And so that's where you just want to say, before the hero left, this was his life, her life, something happened, changed his or her life, and then they return and they share the elixir, the thing that is the most important thing, with their tribe, with their community and whatnot. And of course, the hero's journey is much more detailed than that. I actually have a product about that on storytelling. And as an aside, this is totally free, totally free. In August, I do twice a year, I do a 30-day storytelling challenge where I post a picture every 30 days, or not every 30, I'm sorry, every day for 30 days. And people write little stories. They can be short or long, but I encourage them to be short because that's what you need for marketing. You can't keep people engaged for a long time in marketing. That's, be a writer, do that. That's great, but do that separately.
So, okay, so guys, jump in and let us know. Mena started writing a really fascinating story about what changed his life 10 years ago and how he took a leap of faith and left his job. So, jump in here. We'd love to hear you and your story. And what Lori is going to help you do right now, if you join us in the Hangout, is, like you said, narrow down your story to something that the emotion that people can connect with. I think that is one of the most major things that you struggle with at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I do. And I also think that, not to brag, but my love of creative arts and acting also plays into me being able to compress storytelling. So I would love to help people live. I'm here.
So this is really what this is about. Whoops. This is really what we are about. We are about these 10 days is getting you the results and the answers that you need. It's not a video, it is live, so we can talk to you face to face. So jump on in. So let's take if you want to, I think I got my story nailed down. Not sure about other people. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think you did.
You don't think I did?
I don't think you did. I think you said you were a closet geek. What changed? That's the thing. The turning point, Yafat, that's the thing that connects with people. And people listening now or later or whatever, that is the emotional component. And sometimes it's embarrassing. Honestly, or sometimes you don't want to share it, and you don't have to. I'm not putting you on the spot. I am putting you on the spot, but you don't have
No, you're
to.
fine. So what changed? So first of all, Mena, refresh the page and click the link that says to join the Hangout, and I'll share my screen so you can see this. I see we're having posts coming in. See this little join the party
Yay.
thing? Click on that. It's going to open a Hangout, and you can join us. See? Just click this, say
And then,
okay,
yeah, you
and
have to
join
click
us.
that button. I know, that's what always trips me up too. It's like, I'm here. But
Yeah,
it's like,
click
no,
the
you have to
button.
click the button. You
Click
have
the
to
button.
check it.
And later on, guys, if you're watching the replay or something like that, not really sure how to do things, right here, how to join the Hangout. If you click on that, I'm going to open it for a second so you guys can see. There are all the trainings of how to join us, and you can practice and do all these things. So,
oh, excellent. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it, because I know, technology can be challenging.
yeah, to some people, yeah. So right here, I'll share my screen again, guys. So you see, you have like all these little videos that show you how to join the Hangout, and what camera and what mic, if you want to use them. And right here, if you click that offline, when we're not offline, it's going to open a Hangout for you. And if you see yourself and hear yourself, you're good to go. So it's right here, how to join a Hangout. But and then we have Bonnie, who says, before I loved to write, no time, life happened.
Yeah.
Then family gone,
Right.
husband passed. Now finally had time to learn writing and become a copywriting. My second life. What do you think?
Ah, that happens a lot. I like,
Go ahead.
oh, there's Mina with a horse.
Yes, but hold on. Tell us the story. So,
Okay, so
yes.
I think that happens a lot. I did not plan to be a copywriter. I didn't know what a copywriter was. I've read copy, but I really didn't know what one was until 1999, when I started looking for work as a freelance writer. And so I think, like Bonnie, like your husband passed, and it's like, oh, here's a whole new world for me. Just the same thing for me. It was like, my children needed me, and I didn't share this, but one of my children is on the he's going to kill me for saying this. He's on the autistic spectrum. Please don't watch Justin. But he's very high functioning. He's very smart. But at any rate, he needed me emotionally. And so that was one of the reasons why, when the Columbine thing happened, and these kids are mowing down other children, not that I think my child would ever do that, but I was like, I want to be there.
Right.
If someone else does that at his school, and I don't have to beg to get off work, or I just felt helpless. So Bonnie, maybe losing a spouse is horrible. It's horrible. I lost the father of my children. He passed away 4 years ago, and it still hurts me. I just the other day, I was like, oh, I should call oh, I can't. It just like, it happens. And so that's an emotional connection that you have, that a lot of people are going to connect with. And that's all you need. If you can open up your heart to share that with people, you'll find that other people they'll relate.
Yeah, totally. Mina, let's see if we can get you in. I know you guys gonna. So do you know how to unmute?
Gorgeous horse.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Let me see. Mina, let's see if we can get you in. You're not unmuted. Let's unmute you. Yeah, there we go. Hey.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is my first time doing this. Hi.
Hi. Your horse is freaking beautiful. Is it Western or English?
Neither.
It's not broken?
I do healing work with horses as my partners. So I don't ride him. And his name is Shiloh, and he's the first horse that I ever bought 2 years ago.
Oh, simply gorgeous. And that's a beautiful story. So you bought him 2 years ago. What was the motivation?
Um, what was the motivation? 8 years ago, I was talking to a 15-year-old girl in Florida who was telling me about how horses saved her life and how she had been autistic or had ADHD, sorry, and she was doing clinics for kids with ADHD and autism.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already working with teen girls and women, and I was in a condo in Toronto at the time, tears streaming down my face. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have to get around horses again. I used to love them as a girl. I had a traumatic incident on my horse, Lady. So I was away from horses for about 24 years. So when I learned that they have this incredible ability to help people heal, I got on a plane to start the journey of overcoming my fear. And now I have 8 horses who are my partners as I help others to own their value, claim their power, and realize their full potential.
Oh my goodness, Mina, that's like so powerful. I've heard of a few people, not a few, a few people who actually work with horses doing what you're doing. And what is it about them that makes them so intuitive or special? Can you verbalize
Well,
that?
the thing that makes them intuitive is actually they're prey animals. So they within their systems and their physiology, they have to be, or they just are. They are built to be keen, to have instincts so that they can tell. Let's say if they're a predator, they can even tell if they've already eaten or if they're in danger because they have, they're looking for something to eat. So that same innate ability allows them to determine or to feel what humans feel from even a distance. So if you're feeling angry, sad, whatever, they're able to tune into that. And then I don't really know how. I just know that it's incredibly magical. They help you to feel. They help you to get grounded and present. And when you can, be with a 1,200-pound animal and influence it, then whatever challenges you're facing, you can apply that to whatever's going on in your life.
You know what? I got to tell you, you explained it beautifully because I've always loved horses as well. But, I love elephants. I love all sorts of animals. But I never thought of that as them being like a prey animal. You know what I mean? That puts them in a very unique space. You verbalize that very well.
Thank you. Yes. Then the challenge is that not a lot of people yet understand that this is what's possible. And then when you're in a facilitated experience with me drawing on my intuition and my life experience combined with understanding the animal's behavior, I apply it to people's life. And so my job right now is really to raise awareness and draw people in. And the horses do that in some ways. Like you just look at the picture and you go, oh my God,
Right.
I know. Most of them are former rescues, so they've stepped into their new life purpose, assisting me to help others. So they naturally just kind of draw people who have those same experiences of feeling neglected or of being abused or whatever the case may be. So,
how would you categorize your story, just to put you on the spot? Like before this happened, like Lady. I'm not sure if that was the turning point.
I put in the comment was that before this, I was in a 16-year career in marketing, feeling unfulfilled, working my butt off, and my soul was dying. So I took a leap of faith. I decided one day I was almost 40, and I said, I'm going to go and figure out what I'm supposed to do here. And so I started my first business, Dare to Be Real, coaching and consulting, because I was a people pleaser and it was all about doing things to make other people happy and not me.
Oh my God. Can we go out for drinks or something? I mean, like, we get along so well.
I hope I'm mostly done with that now. Yes.
Well, that's okay too. We can have coffee.
Yeah. So I just, it was an exploration and an evolution. And then I reconnected to my love of horses through this girl, and the horses just called to me, and I traveled for 3 years learning more and more about them and getting all my lessons. And then 2 years ago, July 1st was the huge day when I moved from a 1-bedroom apartment to a 30-acre horse property and went from 1 horse to 8 horses in a week.
Okay, that is your turning point. That's your turning point. That's beautiful.
Okay, thank you. Because there's so many. I felt like there were so many places I could start. Yeah.
No, that's it though, because that's very dramatic.
Yeah.
And people can visualize that, like, okay, 1-bedroom apartment, and now like what? You have this huge expansive ranch, and you're helping so many people. So that, oh my God, Mina. Wow.
It's Mena. I just want to say it's Mena. Thank you.
Mena, thank you. I'm sorry. But I'm very moved by your story. And I think a lot of people would be.
Thank you. You can make me cry.
No, you're fine. What, are you here?
I am. Actually, what I wanted to ask you, Mena, is Mena, where are you from?
You got it.
I'm Italian.
Canada.
My background is Italian.
Oh, okay.
Yay! So we got it all international here. Like we're almost covering the spectrum, right? We got California, Italy, Israel.
I live in Canada, but my parents are Italian. Yeah.
California, Canada, Austin.
We'll take it all.
There we go.
It all.
So Mena, what is when you joined us today and stuff like that? How do you feel about your copywriting? Like, where do you start? Were you sharing your story, and did you feel like it was touching people?
I share it as much as I can, and I know that whenever I do, people do react and they're inspired, and I feel like I'm here to be an inspiration and I'm wanting to be a role model for my son as well, to follow his heart and go for his passion and not just do what society says that you need to do. But it's like I said, I feel like I'm not really great at being really concise about it, and it's like there's so many things I could share, and what are the most powerful things that are really going to inspire people to come out and have their own experience with a horse that can be life-changing.
I think that's fair, and what I want to share with you and also with other people is like, I mean, you just laid it out there, but the truth is a contrast. It was before, it was a 1-bedroom apartment, and now it's 8 horses. That's huge. So a contrast is a really good place to start from.
Mm-hmm. And the fear part, is that a good thing to incorporate too? How is
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because people who are looking for your help are freaking afraid, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And there's so many people, I think, that are unfulfilled in their careers or in the jobs that they're having, and are afraid to take that leap. And I just went, I mean, there were days, it hasn't been the easy road. There were days I went, what the heck did I do? But 2 years later, here I am, and, momentum is building. The first year was about survival and learning.
And that's fair too, but you don't have to put all that in there. And it's not that it's not important, but you'll bring that out in your lessons as you're teaching people. Yeah.
So the fear piece, and then going from a 1-bedroom to a 30-acre horse property with 8 horses is
that's going to be, people are going to resonate with that. And then this being scared, of course, why wouldn't you be? And that's why they're on your sales page, or and I imagine you would be very good on camera and video. You might want to do a little blurb about it. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that would be dynamic as well. But it's the content more than anything else that matters. And so I think you got it down.
Okay, thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yay. All right. So I want to.
So Mina, with that, go ahead.
No, I was just I'm looking at the clock. I just want to be responsible.
Yes, 5 more minutes. So if anyone has any more, if you want like Lori's brain right now, I think, Mina, do you feel a lot more comfortable about your story?
I do. Thank you so much. Like I said, I was confused on where to start and how it would be most powerful. So the contrast piece really helps. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So So really, guys, if you want that type of personal attention, all you have to do, jump on a hangout. Let us know what the deal is. And if you're watching the replay and you want that type of personal attention, put the comments, like put your story in the comments, and we're going to answer that tomorrow. And actually tomorrow, we are talking about where to get the creativity from, right? And so we're going to have a little fun with creativity. Aren't we not, Lori?
We are. We are. I'm going to have to make my camera. I'm going to actually be moving. I'm going to be doing a little dance. Not a dance, but I'm going to be moving. So, yeah, it's going to be active tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So if you guys are, if you want to join us on the game tomorrow, make sure that check out your emails. We're going to send you some instructions for a really fun game to get your creativity going. Same day, same time. And if you want to know whether your story resonates with people, just leave that in the comments. And Lori is going to read them all till she's going to burn the midnight oil.
I love it. I really do. Like I said, this is one of my favorite topics because it really shows, it's the humanity of people. It shows like what changed them, what molded them into being what they do today. And to me, that's fascinating. And it is to a lot of other people too. So it's not just me.
Right.
Right? Don't you agree?
Yeah, totally. And this is really how we talked about that yesterday. How do you inspire? How do you teach, right? And I suck at teaching stories to my son, so this is going to be awesome.
You're so funny.
So tomorrow, same day, same time, not same day, same time, same place, same time.
Same bad time. Same bad place.
Yes, and you guys can just come to this website. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can also click on the next day and leave our comments for the next day if you want us to see them.
Absolutely.
So this is live, interactive. It's coaching, so you get like the private coaching like Mena just got. Man, I'm going to murder your name like they murder mine.
Oh, I know, right? I'm sorry.
No, it's all fine. So any other thing about story, because what we learned is that you need a before, you need a transition, right? Like the turning point and where we are right now. Anything else that people should do before they start typing their comments?
Mena said it, well, it actually, Mena was a very good example of making it as contrasty, if that's a word, as contrastable, as contrasty as you can. So it's before this was horrible, and then this happened, and now this is happening. So if there is I mean, for me personally, I mean, the Columbine incident where children are murdering children was pretty horrific.
Yeah.
And so that was a big dramatic thing. And you know, I also get people who work and they can't do, you know, they can't be there all the time. And I have nothing against moms who work. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But I do want to just say that, you know, that was my contrasting moment. And for Mena, even though you're right, there were a lot of them. And I'm sure you didn't even mention half of them.
Right.
But going from a 1-bedroom apartment to a 30-acre ranch, huge. So the more visual you can make it for your audience, the better it's going to be.
Awesome. So there we go. So tomorrow, same place, same time, put your questions in the comment, prepare to join us. Remember that you can test your camera and all your stuff right here on the page. I'm going to show you that again for a second. Right here on how to join us on the Hangout. Just click this little thing and it's going to open up a Hangout for you. And if you see yourself, like I see my thing right now, you see yourself, then here I am. So you can see yourself, then you can join us. Just click join and you'll be good to go. So just click here, how to join a Hangout. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And we'll have fun, and you're going to get some personal attention on your stuff so you can improve and start writing copy that makes you cash.
That makes you cash. But I also want to say, look, if you're shy about being on camera, it's okay. You can just use a picture or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like Amanda did, just use your voice. It's fine. We don't care. We just want to talk to you. So please join us tomorrow and we'll do this again. And tomorrow, actually, we are talking about, oh dear, let me get my notes. Tomorrow, we're talking about creativity. That's what you already said.
Yes.
And that's going to be super fun because a lot of times that well is dry. So I'm going to teach you how to fill it up and dig in deep whenever you need to, because sometimes you have to do it even if you don't want to, right?
That's right. So until then, have a great day, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and see you tomorrow.